Hey, what are you testing today, Mr. T?
I am actually testing a Canik pistol today. Now you know it's actually pronounced Canik. Go away.
What the?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as you probably saw in the introduction, we are going to take a look at the Canik TP9 Elite Combat. And if you don't know, this particular Canik is a collaboration between Salient Arms and Canik. Canik took their normal, super affordable, reliable pistols, gave it kind of the Salient treatment, and that's what this particular pistol is here. For those who don't know, Salient Arms makes some of the nicest Gucci Glocks out there. Guys, we're talking like $2,000 or $3,000 Gucci Glocks. A Glock with this type of treatment and accessories would easily cost you $1,000, $1,500, where this Canik is only around $600, $650. As you can tell, I call it Canik. I know some people call it Janik or Janik, or I've heard it called 10 different things. I choose to call it Canik. You call it whatever you want. I know these pistols are made in Turkey, and a lot of people have problems politically with that. I'm not here to get into politics. I'm just here to review the pistol and nothing else. Last but certainly not least, this pistol is on loan from my boss. So thank you very, very much, boss man. I appreciate you loaning it so we can take a quick look at it. Let's dive up close so I can show you the plethora of things this pistol comes with and the few Salient Arms upgrades that it includes. There is so much to go over with this pistol. Let's start with the case and then we'll go from there. You get the normal cleaning brushes. You get a holster, a pancake style holster, which we'll go over in a second. You also get this wrench to remove the thread protector, which you will absolutely need. It comes on there extremely tight. Your typical back straps, you had two different back straps depending on the size of your hands. Your speed loader, which I never use because the mag lulers are better. You get 4 of these plates. These are the optics ready plates to mount all your different red dots, whether you want to use an RMR, a Loophole, Holosun, Vortex, whatever. I can go on and on and on. You get 4 of these different plates to mount pretty much any popular red dot. This little plastic case right here is much nicer than the normal bags. It gives you all your small accessories and all your small screws. So all the small screws are in here to mount different red dots. This adapter right here is a charging handle or an assist, a charging assist, whatever you want to call it. It screws into these plates that mount the red dot and allows you to rack the slide a little bit easier. So it's not my cup of tea, but if someone's a competitive shooter or if someone may have a disability, has trouble racking the slide, that's something that really may help people. And it is ambi. You can put it on the left or the right side of these optic plates. Also inside here you have all the tools to install an optic, like your Allen wrench, your torque wrench, stuff like that. And then these are different magazine release sizes. So you have 3 different size magazine releases. You have a small, medium, and large, and you can unscrew them and put different size magazine releases in based on whatever size you want. Me personally, I would go with the small because the medium and the large stick out too much. Last but not least, you do have 2 different color, I don't know if you can see it, fiber optics. They give you an extra red one and they give you a green one. The gun does ship with the red one on there. Wow, there's a lot in here. They also give you this holster. It is good quality. It's not cheesy at all. I'm just not a fan of any holster that you need to use your trigger finger to release the holster. Go ahead and Google Serper holster negligent discharge and you'll see exactly what I mean. Now this one is better than the Serper. The Serper, you have to push the button right here, which is right near the trigger guard, and as your finger comes out, look where it is. This one here, at least you're pushing up here, so your finger is up and out of the trigger guard, but again, a good quality holster, just not my cup of tea. As far as your magazines, you get 2 different metal magazines. They are made by Metgar, like most Canik pistols. This is a flush fitting right here, 15 round. This is also a 15 round, but it has a +3 extension on it. So that particular one obviously gets 18 rounds. You get this case out of the way. We'll start at the bottom as always and work our way forward. Normally this pistol does come with a Salient Arms magwell. We took the magwell off because it was just, the grip wasn't big enough for our hands with the magwell. The magwell came up to here and it squished our hands. We couldn't quite get a good purchase on the gun. If you have smaller hands, the magwell will probably work out really well for you. But I had to take it off just because it was a little too small. As far as your grip, it's pretty nicely done. The front back strap and the rear back strap is a little bit more aggressive. There we go. As it should be to help control recoil, while the side ones are textured but not overly aggressive. So if you do choose to carry it, it's not going to tear up your skin on your stomach. Your magazine release on this side of the gun is reversible, which I always like. I'm happy to say it's not ambi because I always tend to press them on accident. This is the medium size mag release, and as you can see, it sticks out quite a bit. You can, as I said, swap out from a small or a large magazine release just by loosening that Torx screw, that Torx nut right there. Moving forward to the trigger is absolutely fantastic. All Canik pistols have a good trigger, and this one is exceptional. It is better than all of the others. As you see, it is a flat face trigger, and the built-in safety is really wide. It's not a tiny little dongle like the Glock trigger is. Let me get this set up so I can show you. Here is your take-up. So it's very little take-up for the wall. That's it. That's your take-up. It breaks. Very clean. And then look at this reset. Dangerously short. Let me show you again. Like, look how short that reset is. That's insane. Again, you take up and you reset. So the trigger is fantastic. I would really practice with this trigger reset quite a bit because it's so short. If you're going to carry this pistol, make sure you practice with it quite a bit. The trigger guard is huge, so if you're going to be shooting with gloved hands, it is a very large trigger guard, so that will not be an issue. Moving forward, you have a pretty standard 1913 rail, so if you want to put a light or laser on here, actually, hang on one second. Alrighty, there we go. Now we have our light in there and we are good to go. Moving over to the slide release, slide stop, whatever you choose to call it. It is definitely oversized, but it's pushed back in an area where most people are not going to ride it. I've shot this gun quite a bit and other guns this size with the same slide release, and I never seem to ride this slide release. For my hands, it's in a very good spot, and you can absolutely use it as a slide release if you choose to. Moving up to the slide itself, you definitely have quite a bit going on. In the back, you have a cocked striker indicator, excuse me. It's not going to tell you if the gun's loaded, but it will tell you if the striker is cocked. As you pull the trigger, that goes away so you know if the striker in the gun is ready to fire or not. On top here, you do have a loaded chamber indicator. There's a little cutout right there, so you will know if the gun is loaded. Like I mentioned earlier, this gun is absolutely optics ready for whatever your favorite optic is. Here you see you have one of the accessory plates that is on there with the Holosun HS407 mounted on it. So the height is a little bit higher than most. You know, I recently did a review on the FN509, and that's probably the best optics system out of the factory I've ever seen. This plate works well. It is some sort of a plastic polymer plate, and it's a little bit on the tall side, but it is a nice system compared to most of them, especially for the price. Your sights are Salient sights. Actually, let me grab the rear one out of the box because I didn't show you this earlier. This is the plate that goes over where the optic goes. So if you're not going to run an optic, this plate comes loaded on the gun or installed on the gun right from the factory. Your rear sight is quite nice. You have a very good ledge for one-handed manipulations. It's all blacked out in the rear, and you have some serrations to cut down glare. And then your front sight is very good target sight. It's a fine precision red fiber optic sight, so it's going to be great for precision shots, but it's not obviously not a night sight, so shooting at night You know, especially with an optic, you may want to do something with this front sight. Maybe get suppressor height sights, maybe get night sights, whatever you're into. Again, it is a nice system, but not having the rear sight when you run a red dot really bums me out. And for that reason alone, I don't think I would carry this pistol. I'm sure lots of people won't have a problem with it, but I'm pretty new to carrying red dots on pistols, so I'm still a little hesitant. I still want to have that rear sight there. Moving over to the barrel. The barrel is also made by Salient Arms, so I'm sure it can way outshoot me without any questions. It is a threaded barrel, but it has a weird thread pitch. It's not a standard 1/2x28. It's some sort of funky 13.5x1 or something. So if you are going to run this with a suppressor, you're going to need to get an adapter, just so you know. Let me get my camera to focus again. There we go. Also, the barrel is fluted, so it's a very nice barrel. I would expect nothing less from Salient. When we take this pistol apart, I'll show you a little bit more about the barrel. Last but not least, on the slide does have front and rear cocking serrations. So as always, my press check peeps, you will be good to go. The front serrations are not overly aggressive. They're aggressive enough where you can do a press check, but it's a little bit difficult. The rear serrations are definitely more aggressive than the front. Breaking the pistol down, it is very similar to most modern striker-fired guns. Obviously, make sure it's unloaded. We're going to pull the trigger in a safe direction. We're going to use the optic to slightly pull back on the slide. And then these two levers right here on both sides are takedown levers. So we're going to pull down on those two levers, send the slide forward. The only thing that's different about this gun, let me put it back on here so I can show you, is it doesn't slide all the way off. You slide the gun slightly forward, and then you lift it straight off. So it comes about right here and then lifts straight off. You'll see that little tiny cutout on the slide. If my camera would focus. And come on, there we go. Little tiny cutout on the slide. You line that up with the rail, and that's where you take it on and off right there. Anyway, very similar to most striker-fired guns. Very similar to any other Canik that you see out there. The only main difference is it has a Salient barrel. Besides that, everything is about the same. I went to go put it back on like a Glock. Again, you line up that cutout and then bring the slide to the rear and put it back on. It's as simple as that. So that's pretty much the gun in a nutshell. All of the features and all of the summaries. You know, in a way, it kind of reminds me of the FN509 Tactical that I reviewed a few months ago now at this point. It has the shortened slide with the bigger grip. So it's like a Glock 19 slide with a Glock 17 type grip. The threaded barrel, the optics ready system. It's kind of a budget FN509 Tactical. Comparing it to a Glock, this is a Glock 19 right here, and let me line them up. It's actually quite a bit smaller in the muzzle, and definitely a little smaller. Oh, 1 second, that's not even close to being lined up. And definitely very smaller in the grip. So I will say the gun is very close to a Glock 17 size. It's in that area, kinda in between. Like I said, that's pretty much the summary of the gun and all the features. Let's take a look how we did at the range. First shots with the Canik TP9 Elite Combat. After the first two mags, the pistol feels good. The trigger is excellent. Anything with the red dot, I love shooting anything with the red dot. Absolutely dislike the holster. And again, anything that you need your trigger finger to release the pistol from the holster, I am not a fan of. But the pistol itself is so far so good. Let's move on to the next drill. We started our distance shooting off at 25 yards and went 3 for 3. So we backed it up to 50 yards where I was able to go 4 for 4. Struggled a little bit at 75 yards, but still was able to hit 3 out of 5 shots. And then finally at 100 yards, I was able to go 5 for 7. The next two drills I ran are for another upcoming video. First I ran the failure drill, or the Mozambique drill. I ran that drill a whole bunch. It's 2 to the body and 1 to the head. Next was the bill drill. Now the bill drill is 6 shots to the body, either from concealment or from the holster, however you are carrying.
Ammo goes so fast. We have a magazine of hollow points loaded up just to make sure it runs hollow points. We are back from the range and we put just under 500 rounds through this pistol. It seems that any pistol with a red dot, I kind of get carried away shooting and I go a little crazy. I just really enjoy shooting pistols with red dots lately. As far as pros of this pistol, one is going to be the value in what you get for the money. I know it's not the least expensive gun or the least expensive Canik, but similar guns like a Glock with all these upgrades would easily cost you twice the price of what this Canik is. All those Salient upgrades and Salient accessories are a nice little touch. The trigger on this gun is amazing for a striker-fired pistol, one of the better striker-fired triggers I have ever felt. I really enjoy the optics system. While it's not perfect, it is a nice factory optics ready pistol. As far as cons, I have 2 cons. One is also the optics system. The loss of the rear sight for me is a big negative. I personally would not carry this gun or use it for home defense just because you don't have a rear sight. I know plenty of people won't care about that, but for me, I don't have enough faith in red dots yet. I'm kind of late to the game with pistol red dots, so I want to have a front and rear sight just in case. Second is, how in the world do you say the name of this company correctly? I say Canik, other people call it Janik and Janique, and I've heard so many different things, and it causes me anxiety. I don't know how to say it properly. I think this pistol would be great for competitions, people going to the range and plinking. Again, you could easily use it for home defense or for concealed carry. Again, my only hesitation is that rear sight. I would have no problem carrying a Canik. I've shot about half dozen of them and I've had nothing but good luck through the thousands and thousands of rounds that I shot. And even other reviews online, they seem to be very reliable and are building a very good reputation. So the brand is good to go. This pistol is great. I just don't like it doesn't have a rear sight. As always though, thank you very much for watching my videos. It is truly appreciated. Hook a brother up with a like and go ahead and click that subscribe button. This way you get notified when we come out with new videos. I will see you all next time. Peace.